Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the Real Cine-Files. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Mike.
And we're glad you're joining us. This is our next portion, our next part to our television series, special television series edition. We just got done having a great discussion on the Tyson-Paul fight and the Countdown series. If you haven't seen Countdown on Netflix, check it out. It is definitely worth a watch. Honestly, probably should have done that live rather than this stupid fight. It was definitely better. It was more to discuss on that than the fight itself. But so anyway, we're going to get into some discussion on television, series, and entertainment. We're so excited. The entire first segment, man, it was the whole thing was discussing the Tyson-Paul thing. Spent a lot of time talking about the Paul brothers, but you'll have to go check that out. You're going to have to check out episode 7. Do yourself a favor. It's interesting. It's going to be interesting. I think you'll find some entertainment in it. And I honestly, I want to say that I think that there may have been some compelling takes that we offered in that episode. So we get
more of a serious episode.
It definitely more serious. We have some humor here and there, but it was a more serious episode. So, but before we go any further, I just want to remind everyone, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We thank you for following us. We thank you for our audience. We thank you for the support. It means the world to us, and we appreciate you taking the time to check out what we have to say. And just also comment as well. We'll comment back and hit the bell notification so you can get alerts on any new episodes and new content when it comes out. Okay, well, without further ado, let me do this. I got a couple of quick recommendations, little bits of news, and one of them is on the subject of.
Don't tell me that Denzel Washington thing.
I don't know anything about that.
Okay, yeah, that's a big topic.
You got something to tell me about that in a minute?
I mean, if you want to talk about it, yeah, we can, but it may surprise you, but yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, you probably got news for me then here in a second. I just want to give you this little quick recommendations, little tiny bits of news. If you didn't know, we didn't review it this weekend. We are probably going to do a holiday movie episode when it comes closer to the holidays. But Red 1 came out this weekend. Came out November 15th with J.K. Simmons, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and Chris Evans. So you might want to check that out. I'm definitely going to see it. I love me a good Santa Claus movie. I love Christmas films. But we are going to dedicate, like we said, a new episode to that. We'll do like a Christmas theme. Does that sound like a good idea, Mike? He ain't even listening. He's on his
I was
phone.
looking at the Denzel Washington news.
No, I know you were. It's all good. Doing a Christmas theme, a holiday episode, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, the movie we're supposed to watch already came out.
That's what I was just telling him. Red 1.
Not Red 1, the play you was in.
That movie. Yeah. It came out last week.
Yeah, I wanted to watch it. I wanted to watch it.
Why don't we go do that then?
Well,
he says, well.
No, because the Gladiator 2 is coming out.
It comes out next week. Oh, we're doing that. We're doing that. We're going to talk about that. That's a bit of news too. Thank you for bringing that up.
And then Thanksgiving coming up. So
that's right. Thanksgiving the week after. Yeah. So don't forget Gladiator 2 next weekend. Red 1 came out this weekend. Probably want to go check both those out. We will definitely be seeing Gladiator 2 and
Red 1.
I know.
I heard it was rough.
Oh, it's that bad? Oh, I may not see it then.
Yeah, it got a lot of bad reviews.
I mean, it did. I got to be honest. It did look like it might have been terrible, but I'm always hopeful about Christmas movies, but some of them can be god awful.
I would just watch Jingle All the Way.
I was just gonna say that's one of my favorite ones, man. That is it. Oh, poor baby. I love that. Man, Sinbad makes me laugh so hard in that movie. Oh my god. Anyway, so obviously that would make for a great episode discussing our favorite Christmas movies. So we'll be doing that. But I just want to let you guys know about that. Red 1 this weekend, Gladiator 2 next weekend. But I wanted to give a couple recommendations, just recent films I watched. And I don't know, man. I guess I've been in my feels. I've been more in my. I guess I've been like out of touch with my. Oh my god, what am I doing here? My emotions as a man. I don't know what's been going on, man. But I just watched 2 films back to back, and both of them, dude. I can't believe I'm saying this. Both of them choked me up. See, he can't even know how to look at me right now.
Wait. When you say choked up, was you crying?
I don't really want to, like, I don't really know if I could say that tears were flowing down my. Yeah, I was crying, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what, though? How do we define crying? This is a very good point here. This is very important. This is why you come to the Real Cine-Files, folks, for this kind of stuff right here. This is gold. Crying, in my opinion, crying is only crying if enough tears well up that they flow down your face.
Water on the eyes.
You're calling crying water on the eyes, Mike?
Yeah, you know how your eyes get real watery?
Yeah, that's what happened.
Saying?
That's what happened.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It's not crying, but it just,
It's crying.
It's
It's crying. Let's
crying.
call it what it is. So yeah, I cried. And I'll tell you the two movies that I watched and their recommendations I want to give everybody. There is a newer movie. It didn't stay in theaters very long, and I could see why, because it's not, it's a lesser known kind of independently made film. I believe it's independently made. Do not quote me on that. I cannot remember for the life of me the production company at the moment, but it's a film called Goodrich. It is directed by kind of I think this is maybe her second or third. I think the other film that she did was Home Again with Reese Witherspoon, but it's Hallie Myers Shire. Isn't that a little fun name to say? Hallie Myers Shire. And it's called Goodrich. It stars Michael Keaton, Mila Kunis, Andy McDowell, and Michael Urie from a show called Shrinking, which I'm going to talk to you about because we're about to get into some series. And listen, man, this film, I guess you ever see a movie and it doesn't even really matter if the movie itself could even be considered as objectively good, a well-made, well-rounded movie. It wouldn't even really matter if it was that. You just watched it at the right time for you, and it just hit the right buttons.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what this movie did for me. Although I do believe that it was objectively good. I think it was a very well-made movie. I'm sure it definitely had its flaws, but it was so enjoyable, and I just really loved the script. I loved the dialogue was fantastic. Michael Keaton plays an older man. Well, he's an older man, but he plays a man in his late 50s, early 60s. Late 50s, yeah. And he's a father. He's got a younger wife, and he's got twins with that younger wife, but he's also got from a previous marriage, he's got an older daughter played by Mila Kunis from that 70s show. And listen, man, Mila Kunis, I got to be honest with you. There were people that used to just fawn over her. I mean, left and right. She's so gorgeous. She's so hot. And I never saw it. But I tell you what, I believe.
She is hot, though.
Well, yeah.
I'm one of those people.
Well, yeah. And look, I understand it. I'm just going to say this. Some people, to me, they age like a fine wine. I really do believe that some people actually get better looking as they get older.
Yeah, she aging well, too.
I mean, she really is. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but there may be something to that. I don't know much about health and beauty, obviously. Just kidding. But it's like, seriously, I think that there is something about that. Like, there are different actors, some of their names are eluding me right now, that I can think of that that just, have gotten better looking as they've gotten older. She is stunning in this movie. Stunning. But I'll just give you a little quick rundown of it, condensed version. He plays a very driven man. He owns his own little art studio called Goodrich. We'll call it Goodrich Studio because I don't remember what the hell it's called. And so, he basically does exhibitions for artists, and he what is the word, man? That's wrong with me. He has like contracts with different artists and shows their work. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, right. And so, but he's always been a man who's been driven by work and is disconnected from, reality in many, many ways. So the movie starts with him waking up to a phone call from his, at the time, wife, who he has the twins with. The twins are like 8 or 9 years old. And she's calling him to tell him why she's not in bed, that she's checked herself into rehab because she's got a prescription drug addiction just to be able to cope with life. And And he's so disconnected from reality, he didn't even know any of it. So there's your red flag number one, letting you know who this man is. But the movie, it basically is about this man who, through this series of circumstances, going through the process of losing his current wife, having already lost one marriage, having a strained relationship with his first daughter, and then getting a lot of those feelings coming out as he's starting to reconnect with his daughter, who is married and now pregnant and about to have her first child. And listen, it was just a beautiful picture of a man rediscovering what it's all for to begin with. Like what you said in the previous episode about the American dream.
Yeah.
He was so driven by ambition and making money and having a successful art studio and being the best, that you know how it is. I'm sure we can all fall into this trap that you lose sight of what matters most.
Yeah.
And that's the narrative of the story. And it sounds like a good story, right?
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
And it's Michael Keaton. He's one of our favorites.
Yeah.
And he just does a fantastic job. And so I don't want to give any more away. It's definitely worth a watch. Check it out. Goodrich. It was in theaters for a few weeks, but then it just hit streaming this week. I think you can rent it on Prime Video or other channel. I think you can get it on Apple TV as well. Any place that you can rent VOD. So that's Goodrich. Also, another movie I just watched. I watched this one after Goodrich. Not consecutively right after. I mean, I did it subsequently, I should say. I did it a couple of days after, but this is the one I just recently saw. I didn't think I was going to watch it, man, but it popped up as free on Prime Video. I was like, you know what? I was curious about it. I'm an Aubrey Plaza fan. I mean,
she hot too.
She is gorgeous. I just love her. I love her. And and her early roles were all the deadpan, monotone, nerdy girl. But man,
she played it perfect.
She's so good.
She's good at it. And
she's so good at it
too.
I just love her as an actress, don't you?
Yeah. And
but she's in this movie. It's called My Old Ass, directed by I believe it's written and directed by Megan Park. Actually, I think I messed up. I think I said Hallie Myers Shire is the directed Home Again, but I may be mistaken. I think that Home Again was directed by Megan Park. Forgive me. I got with a mind like mine with so many names.
Want to check your math on that?
Yeah, check my math on that. See, I think check out Goodrich, and just check out Hallie Myers Shire, and then check out Megan Park.
Is that Holly?
Halle, Halle, like Halle Berry. Myers, Myers, and then Shire, Shyer.
Okay, that's a weird way to spell Shire, but I found it.
And then look up her movies.
Goodrich. Yeah, she did Goodrich.
And that's it. Anything else?
Home Again.
Okay, so I was right. I can't believe it. Okay, so I was correct. All right, so I don't remember what Megan Park did, but she's done a couple other films. It's escaping me right now. It's not important. I just like to have my facts straight. You know how we are here at the Real Cine-Files. How can you call yourself a file of any kind or even anyway, whatever. So, My Old Ass. Okay, it's about this little girl. She's 18. She's getting ready to go off to college. She's sowing her wild oats. I mean, I don't agree with all of the social politics of the movie, I will say. And I don't want to get into all that stuff. It's not important. I'm not stating I didn't gel with all that, but that should tell you. When a movie's good, when you can be, I'm sure we've all seen movies where there are different ideologies that come through. Because, I mean, a director, a writer, they can't create a piece of art and their part of their soul not be imprinted on it. Their ideas are going to come through.
Yeah.
I get it. And so we've all seen movies where we saw a certain part or there's an aspect socially that is introduced that we don't necessarily agree with. We've all had that. But it's a matter of whether the film is good enough to be forgiving of that.
Yeah.
And that's what this was to me. I really liked it. This girl, it's really funny actually. She does this thing. She does some shrooms with her two girlfriends that she gets on a boat. Her and two of her best friends. They get on this boat, her little boat, what do they call it? Little John boat with the little motor in the back. What do they call those? A skiff.
Skiff.
Yeah, I believe it's a skiff. Yeah, I can't believe I remembered a word I don't know nothing about. Or that area, that field, I don't know anything about. So anyway, they get in that, they go across to this beautiful little island across the lake or whatever, pond or whatever kind of body of water it was. It's not the point. And they do shrooms, and then she has a vision. Or, well, let's just say this. She sees her 39-year-old self, played by Aubrey Plaza.
And I'm not 40, asshole.
And it's really funny. You can imagine the humor in it.
I feel like you're having a life
and just
crisis.
with that, just that tone of Aubrey's voice. I love the way she acts. And on that note, I got to remember, don't let me forget, we're going to get into series here in a second. There's a series with her that you would be surprised the dramatic performance that she does. Don't let me forget. So she is visiting her younger self and giving her younger self advice, basically. And then it's just really kind of cool too, because it's a mystery how it all happens, because she thinks it's just because of the mushrooms. But then the next day she finds that her contact, the older version of her contact, is saved in her phone, saved as my old ass, which is great. Hence the title. Clever. I love it. But so she's able to actually text and talk on the phone with an older version of her. So it's not just because of the shrooms. But it's funny because later on, she comes back to her. She comes and visits her physically again. And she makes the joke, Aubrey Plaza's character makes a joke, I had to eat 2 bags of weed to get here. Or something funny like that. It was so funny. So we don't really know. It's not important, the details of how it happens. It's a matter of what happens. That she gets to see her older self. And in it, her older self reminds her of what matters most, because she's so focused on herself and getting away from her parents' cranberry farm and going out to sow her wild oats in college and getting away from all that's familiar. And she's missing all the while what's right under her nose, the value of the relationship she has with her family, the love of her brothers, her parents, and she's missing all this. And her older self, her older ass, has to tell her, and kind of a cool little story sound, right?
Yeah, these movies sound great.
Man,
yeah.
Listen, I was so surprised. And I mean, they got to be good, because I cried on both of them, dude.
Yeah, man. Relationships with people, that's important. Family and, friends.
It really
that's
is, man.
Money is not important. Relationships are.
Relationships are the most, because what they say at the end, you'll be on your deathbed and you won't be wanting another dollar. You'll be wanting another second of time, and you'll be wanting the people around you that you care about.
Because that's like when my mom passed, you never know what you got till it's gone now. And, it hurts every day, but
man, I know it's got to, man.
Family is important.
I'll take that as a note right now, that I need to cherish and revel in the moments I have with my mom while she's still here, for sure. I love you, Mom. This is the crying episode of The Real Cine-Files, if you didn't know. Just kidding. I will not cry in this episode. I promise you that, man. Promise you that. Maybe. Anyway, so I recommend those 2 great films to watch. Check out. Not perfect films, but listen, if you just want to see a very good, well-rounded story, just with a lot of substance that reminds you of what's most important. You know what? That's probably what it was, Mike. That's probably why it hit those buttons for me, because you know how it is. You know how I am at work. I'm driven, and I mean, we got this podcast that's going on, and it's taken off, and we're so honored, we're so excited. We thank everybody. We honestly
thank you.
We really thank you for your support, and we appreciate our audience so much. We couldn't even be where we're at now without you, and obviously it's still meager compared to so many, but we cherish every level of growth along the way.
It could be a few people. We thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
that's
we
the
really
truth,
like to talk to you guys.
We really do. We'd love for more engagement too. So please don't hesitate to comment, and you can always email us too at therealcinephiles@gmail.com. Just spelled the way it is in the video. I can't do my spelling bee thing again. I would fail like on the spot, like you were talking about in your story. Yeah, the previous episode, I found out that Mike was in a spelling bee, and was apparently really, really good, but it remains to be seen because he flunked out on his very first word because he was nervous.
I was like somebody in a rap battle. I choked.
See, that's what happens, man. Nerves are a real thing. You get in that moment, dude, and that part of your brain locks up. It really does.
Yeah, you be on the spot, you know what I'm saying? You got all these people staring at you, and they give you a word. I should have probably just said, could you use that in the sentence, please?
Exactly. That would have got the ball rolling again.
Yeah.
But yeah, like what I was saying, I think, with what's going on, man, with the pod, we got so much going on with there, so much time we're putting in this, and then, the job is being as demanding as it is. And I think I was due for that reminder, seeing something that reminded me that it's about people that we love. It's about family. It's about relationships,
Yeah.
And that had been sorely lacking, because I've been on a, we joked in the last episode about being doing a relationship episode.
You've been kind of tense lately. I see in the meetings, I was like, man, he kind of going in.
I know, man. Well, that's the evidence, man. That's when you need to lighten up, man. Brandon, you need to lighten up. You know what I'm saying?
Kicking ass and taking names.
Oh, that's why I need to. Sometimes I just need to be checked, man. You pull me aside and check me, or just say, "Are you all right?" or whatever. But yeah, that's why I think that's why it's so great for movies like this is they can soften those things. They can remind you about what's important. People are important.
Yeah.
Even if they're people that we don't like, that we don't gel with, that we don't agree with, people that are outright like just bulwarks of something that's
Jake Paul.
Everything we stand against. You know what I mean? Yeah, Jake Paul, exactly. We have a whole previous episode dedicated to that. If you want to check it out, believe me, it's worth your time. So it's just you see these things that remind you of what's most important, and that's what this did for me. And I needed to be, I don't know, it dialed me down. It recentered me. I got to tell you, man. As simplistic as the stories were, there was a profundity to both of these movies. There was some depth, man. Like it was great, I mean, and I don't want to sound like some, total like, daft, I'm just like this completely like credulous person who just buys everything hook, line, and sinker, you know what I mean? And like, the story was so simple. I should have seen past how flawed it was, and that it wasn't as deep as it actually seemed. That's bullcrap. I don't believe that I'm being gullible here in any kind of way. I'm telling you, there was some soundness to these movies, the stories, and of course anything like that when it's been a while and you have been tense and you've gotten off focus of what's the most important thing, any of those things going to strike a chord with you,
Yeah.
And so I'm just saying I was overdue for it. But regardless of whether that was my conditioning, my preconditions or whatever, I still recommend them highly. I think they're worth a watch for everybody, and I'll have to put you up on both of those, man, as far as where they're at. Actually, you can see my old ass on Prime for sure.
And like a genuinely good movie, though.
Yeah, and I mean, it helps too that you're an Aubrey Plaza fan too.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, let me get into that. It's a perfect segue into some series. A series, man, and this is we're just going to talk about some great series that we recommend on the Real Cine-Files. We've touched on it here and there. We've talked about series that we like, series that I'm watching. I give recommendations and stuff, but we've really not dedicated any like significant portion of time to it. And so I figured we'd give a little bit of time, give 30 minutes or whatever to see where we land. We'll talk about some series, man, just like why we like them and different things, and give you some fresh, meaty, substantive recommendations. And so
I'm gonna get a flow to you. We're gonna call this brand new.
No, they hear enough of me because I want to hear. You started one that I recommended, Silo, and I can't wait to get into that. But because we were just talking about Aubrey Plaza, let me tell you, if you have not seen, have you heard of the hit series written and directed by Mike White called The White Lotus?
No, I never heard of that one.
Oh my gosh, dude. Do yourself a flavor. Yeah, and it's a good flavor. It's chocolate vanilla swirl, baby, all day. I'm telling you, it is so good. Listen, it's called The White Lotus. I don't want to say much about it. I'm just going to say that there's nothing like it. There's 2 seasons of it. A 3rd season is coming.
There's a
It
reason
is
they invited us
Emmy
here.
Award winning,
Like, you sold your
and
company,
it is
you got
fantastic.
rich, and
I'm
now
talking
you're
about
best
star-studded
friends? Are these the kind of
casts.
people we're gonna be hanging
It's
out
a
with
different,
now?
it's a different
I did.
set of characters in both series. There are 2 different White Lotuses. The first, it's a resort. The first one takes place in, and I can't believe I do not remember. It's like one of the islands, like one of the Caribbean islands, I believe. I can't remember. Forgive me. It's not important right now, but it's different locations geographically. The second one, I remember it because it's the most recent, is the White Lotus in Italy. And man, listen, I mean, I sop this stuff up like a biscuit, like in butter and syrup. You know what I mean? Like whenever it's got these very idyllic settings, like Italy. I mean, just these beautiful, breathtaking scenes.
Yeah, Italy is beautiful.
I mean, I'm telling you, and it's just all that nonstop. I mean, as if Aubrey Plaza wasn't enough. There's some just great stars in the whole series. Michael Imperioli's in it as well, who's also in another series, conveniently, that I'm recommending. I recommended it on our last episode called Mad Dogs. I want to put that out there before I forget. If you have not seen Mad Dogs, just sidebar, Mad Dogs on Prime Video, you got to see it, dude. It is really good. It is 10 episodes. It's a limited series. It's got Ben Chaplin in it, Steve Zahn, Michael Imperioli, like I said. Billy Zane plays a small role in it. And then a number of other actors. It takes place in Belize, and I don't want to say anything else that it's about. All I'm going to say is these 4 friends go and visit their friend, played by Billy Zane, named Milo, who has this villa in Belize, just this breathtaking, I'm talking about mesmerizing view type villa. And he's made all his money. They don't really know how he's made his money exactly, but let's just find out. Let's just say that they come to find out that it's not all good. And they end up finding themselves in this insane, contentious, I'm talking about like hair-raising, stressful, anxiety-inducing freaking situation dealing with a drug lord, the police. I like to say police because it sounds better than police. And it makes you sound, well, it doesn't make me sound cooler, but it makes most people sound cooler. And then you got CIA, you got all, they're in the middle, and then you got the U.S. Embassy. You got all these things going on and these crazy, unsavory characters. And they're in the middle of this insane, like, thrilling, suspenseful ride. And they're in over their heads, these 4 friends. Drugs, theft, like all kinds of stuff. It's crazy, man. Mad Dogs, Prime Video. It's from 2016. If you have not seen it, do yourself a favor. So, back to The White Lotus Season 2, who also had Michael Imperioli. And if you don't know who that is, he plays, I can't remember his character's name. I think it's, I don't want to say it wrong. He's one of the main characters in The Sopranos.
I never watched Sopranos.
You never watched Sopranos. It's good, man. If you want to see a good gangster series, man, that's
All
it.
right.
You say you just watched The Goodfellas. By the way,
I watched Goodfellas a long time ago.
I thought you said you saw it again recently.
I'm gonna watch it again, though.
Yeah, I think we both should, man. It's on Max anyway. Look,
The Sopranos on Max, right?
oh yeah, you can binge watch the whole thing.
All right.
Totally worth it, man. Totally worth it. It'll make you sad that it ended, but it's really cool because you will get to watch a really neat prequel film that they made that came out back in 21 called The Many Saints of Newark. And what's really cool is James Gandolfini, who is the late James Gandolfini, who played Tony Soprano, his son. I can't remember his first name. He plays younger him in the movie, the prequel, The Many Saints of Newark.
What you call those type of people that get into Hollywood?
Nepo-Baby.
Nepo.
But you know what, though? In this case, I wouldn't even call him that because he's not a big, like, mainline type, mainstream actor. He's not And if anything, that is an end justifies the means situation if there ever was. Because I mean, it was just so cool to see poetically what was taking place on screen.
What about Kurt Russell's son? And
oh, I'm a fan there too. I'm gonna be honest with you. I had a previous episode. I felt really strongly, staunchly in the opposing direction of Nepo-Babies. And yeah, there's part of me where I don't agree with a lot of the principles at work there that are going on by that, and I stand by my thoughts, but I don't feel nearly as strong about it because of our conversation made me rethink it. And the truth is, we wouldn't even have half of the works of art and masterpieces that we do if not for Nepo-Babies.
Yeah.
I thought about it, and what you said put it into perspective for me. I mean, because some of the ones that are like generations ago, like not even our generation that we grew up on, the previous one, they were Nepo-Babies from black and white movie stars. You know what I mean?
Dang.
The days of black and whites, and silent films. And so, I mean, I had to backpedal on that. You know how you can come out the gate feeling strong about something, and then you realize how, you don't really your train of thought was pretty much unfettered, and it wasn't very grounded in all of looking at every angle and a well thought out critical thinking process. So yeah, I had to. That's why you balance me out so well, dude. It make you.
Well,
and
we
it's
balance
good.
Each other out.
Yeah, I guess that's a good thing. And it's good too because you get different perspectives and it makes you think about things differently. So, where was I? So, the Sopranos. Yeah, back to what I was saying. I was mentioning Michael Imperioli. He was in the White Lotus season 2. See, we found our way back from that bunny trail. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
We just tiptoed right back in. So, if you have not seen the White Lotus, I don't really want to say what it's about, but it's got everything in it, man. I'm talking about family drama, betrayal. I mean, it's got a little bit. He leans a little heavy on the sexuality side of it, very sensual. But it's one of those things where it's back to what I was saying in my previous statement about things being, when they're good enough, being more forgiving.
Yeah.
You're able to get past it. And if it's something that is a little bit too much to stomach, you're able to fast forward it. But the show is so good, it wouldn't matter what was in it, honestly. It's so good. The performances are fantastic. The score is incredible. The story is just intriguing. I mean, I don't really want to tell you. All I'm going to tell you is a lot happens with all the characters involved. It involves in both season 1 and season 2, these characters like seemingly disconnected from each other that are different people, like families that are on a trip. They're staying at this resort. And then there's another character who's staying at the resort. See what I'm saying? They're all disconnected from each other, but yet their paths converge for different reasons. And even more so in season 2, which to me, season 2 takes the cake, man. I mean, I've got...
we can watch this on?
Max.
All right,
you can binge watch both of them on Max. I'm talking about, and you're right. You probably, you were joking or whatever about this being a brand new episode, but if anything, it'd be a good thing because I get to inundate you with great recommendations.
Yeah.
And I think you're already at least semi grateful for the first one that you've partaken of.
Yeah.
Silo, which we might as well jump right into that right after I finish this. So the White Lotus. There's 2 seasons of it. It's on Max. If you have not seen it, check it out. Written and directed by Mike White. He played in... he's been an actor before. I mean, I guess he's still currently an actor, but he's not really acting. He's played like little funny, goofy roles. He was in School of Rock, or one of my favorite Richard Linklater films with Jack Black.
Yeah.
Because you're not hardcore unless you live hardcore. Step out. I love doing Jack Black. I don't know why.
Yeah, Jack Black, awesome.
I love Jack Black. He's so great.
D.
Tenacious D, baby. Wonder Boy, what is the secret of your power? I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I knew that this episode was going to be like so many different like trails we could go off of it. Why haven't we waited to discuss series until now? I mean, golly, what were we thinking? So that's all I'll say about the White Lotus. I could say a whole lot more, but it's really, really good. The one cool thing about what I love that he did with season 2 is there is one character. Well, there's two technically, but it's really mainly one. One character from the season 1 that is a connecting piece to season 2, played by Jennifer Coolidge. She is so funny and she is so great. And do you know who Jennifer Coolidge is?
No.
Jennifer Coolidge, I know you remember this. You ever see American Pie?
Yeah.
Stifler's mom.
Okay, yeah, I know exactly.
Stifler's mom? Yeah, it's her, man. I can't do a Jennifer Coolidge impersonation, but she's so... there's some people that can do such a great Jennifer Coolidge impersonation. I wish I could do her, but she's just talks so funny. But she's in it. She's the connecting piece from season 1 to season 2. And her character, I'm not going to give anything away, but her character is crazy, involved in a crazy way in the narrative of season 2. It takes some crazy turns, twists and turns, Mike. So first huge recommendation coming out the gate on the TV talk, and that is White Lotus. It is on Max. Stream it. It's so good. You're going to check that out. So, all right. So I gave my recommendations. Already gotten in Mad Dogs. Let's just jump right into the last recommendation. We said we would talk about it when we were going to discuss series, and we talked about Apple TV. They're doing so good. They are leading the way, in my opinion, as far as quality content. They obviously aren't the number one streamer as of yet, but they might as well be as far as putting out quality series.
Yeah, they cooking.
For sure. They really are, man. I tell you what, now that we're using that word cooking, man, I want to use it too much. And I know I'm overusing it. Did you see what I put in the last video?
Yeah.
Could you say cooking one more time? Remember I put that on there?
Yeah.
I was like, man, because I was like, I need to stop that because I'm going to say cooking all the time. But you know how it is? That's why we have buzzwords, man. They catch like wildfire for a reason.
Yeah.
You know? But, so yeah, like that, Apple is definitely cooking, man. They're on fire. And one of the series, I know that it would not necessarily be considered the flagship show. That's a term, coined for other reasons, but I believe you would define it as a flagship. Their flagship sci-fi and dystopian show, basically.
Yeah, I mean, if you like sci-fi, you'll like this show.
Yes.
And mystery.
Yeah, the mystery that drives it, right?
Yeah.
And so that is our recommendation immediately. There are a number of series that I would like to recommend I've already recommended to you already and to our audience. If you have not had the time to check out Dark Matter, you need to do yourself a favor. It explores the quantum physics idea, the different alternate realities and timeline thing, but in a very polished and poetic way. It's very dense with its ideas and its concepts. It's not overly inflated. It doesn't give you like a thing where you're like it's bifurcated between whether you have to go this way with it being creative and artistically expressed, but or it's got to be leaning more towards this direction, or it's just action and intensity and thrilling. It's not like split that way.
So could you describe it? Is it like The Time Machine or is it like Interstellar?
It's funny because it's got some hints of Interstellar in it, as far as that it doesn't deal with the whole black hole concept as far as stepping into time from in that way, but there are elements of it that I believe resemble that tone of Interstellar. But no, it is Time Machine, yes.
Yeah.
It is Time Machine, but not in the way you would understand Time Machine in the traditional sense. It's a box, and I'm not going to say anything else. I don't want to give it away.
See, now when you said box, I was thinking of, was it the Cube 3 or something, where they had like...
You told me about the Cube, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like interdimensional travel. It was something, it was weird, but it dealt with that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. See, you told me about Cube too, and I've never seen it. I need to check it out.
Well, the first one doesn't deal with that, but I think the third one deals with that. They get into that time.
If you had to say any one to watch of the three.
The first one.
First one? Okay, I'll watch the first one. I will do that. As much as I recommend to you and you check them out, I got to do the same. So, Dark Matter and Silo, these are both just great sci-fi shows. And, season 2, long awaited season 2 premiere started last night. It dropped last night. Episode 1. We are going to be tortured. We're going to be tortured week to week. It ended with a cliffhanger, just like each episode did subsequently in the first season, one after another. Ended with a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I hate one episode. Just release the whole season.
Yeah. See, you're lucky. You get to watch the whole freaking first season, Mike. You don't have to wonder. You can just watch one after another.
I always rewatch it.
I guess I could rewatch it and it would do something, but I mean, I'm already caught up. I mean, it is worth rewatching, but it's a great show. It's really great. And I'm not going to give away anything because I don't even want him to know like what's going on, because just for fear that it would give away some fragment of the story that would, spoil anything. So we'll just talk about generally what the show's about. And it's just, I covered it briefly in a previous episode. It's how would you describe it? There's a community of people that with different factions that live in a missile silo underground.
Yeah.
And then they're just exploring. What would you say? What would be your take on what you've watched so far? What would you say the synopsis would be?
Well, my take would be, they live in a silo because the world has ended, and they're waiting for the day where they can actually leave the silo.
Okay.
That's the gist I get from it.
Yeah. Did you remember? Because I caught it when I watched the first episode. It gave a little like flashback, throwback, reminiscent of the, their little mantra. We do not know why the silo exists. We do not know how we got here. What else did they say? I can't remember.
We did not got here, but we do not know the day we will leave the silo. But today is not the day.
Today is not the. That's right. Yeah. We do know that, and here's the thing. The whole drive of the show is what's really going on outside. Yeah. Nobody knows, but and all people have to go on is that there is an image on a screen showing in the cafeteria showing the outside, and they all gather around like it's a theater, like it's a movie, watching the people that get sent out. Because the people, and you've already seen this happen, if you say this is so cultish, right?
Yeah.
That if you even utter the words that you even think you might want to go outside, they will send you outside. Now, I'm going to be careful and not say anything else about the whole going outside thing, because I don't want to accidentally give anything away. Because listen, buddy, it makes it so worth it not knowing. Be in the dark, Mike. Do yourself a favor.
Yeah, they already left it vague.
Yeah, be in the dark as you go on. Don't look ahead. Don't read ahead. I'm telling you, it becomes great.
I'm gonna watch the episode when I get home.
It becomes so satisfying. I might have to go in there and rewatch the one I don't even know what I'm on. I'm actually funny on that subject. Off Apple for a second. I love This Is Series because what I'm going to watch. I just remember what I'm going to watch when I go back in there is a show that I just started watching on Prime. It is called On Becoming a God in Central Florida. Yes, starring Kristen Dunst. Love her. Mary Jane Watson, the original. I just love her. I've always loved her. Ever since the first Jumanji. Remember that? Did you know that was her?
No.
Yeah, she's the girl.
Well, it's been years since I watched Jumanji.
Oh, man, wasn't that a great film?
Remember Robin Williams.
Robin Williams, man, you can't beat it. Can't beat it. But yeah, she plays in it. Alexander Skarsgård, he's in it for the first episode. I think the second one, he plays a small role, but he's in it. He plays her husband. There's a number of people in it. I can't remember his name. It doesn't matter. There's a number of people that are in it. It's a pretty big cast. What's her name? Divine Joy Wright. What's her name? Joy Divine. I can't. She just won an Oscar.
What's the name of the show?
On Becoming a God in Central. Know what? Look up. The Holdovers. Look up the film The Holdovers and look at the cast. I want to get I think her name's Divine Joy Wright. She just won Best Supporting Actress for her role in The Holdovers with Paul Giamatti. That was an Alexander Payne film. If you have not seen The Holdovers, we're coming into the holidays again, folks, and it is the perfect holiday movie. Okay, I was close. Divine Joy Randolph. I'm glad you looked it up. I did not want to say her name right. I was close. Do I get somewhat points? I love her.
What a name.
What a name. It is different, right? Listen, she has got some acting chops, my friend. She is so versatile. I mean, she's great. Oh gosh. Anyway, she's in it as well. She's in it. She doesn't play as big a role in it as I would like. But listen, certain people, when they come on the screen, they're just magnetic. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
And she's one of those magnetic people. I just love her. She's so fantastic. And she's musically inclined as well. I did not know that until recently.
Hey.
Yeah, she can sing. She's phenomenal.
I'm going to check that out.
Yeah. So The Holdovers, great film with her in it, but she plays in this series called On Becoming a God in Central Florida. And listen, it's so funny because it takes place in the late 80s, early 90s. So you got that that setting in the background, which is hilarious. Cassette tapes, man, I love it. This whole thing it's almost like it's satirical about multi-level marketing, pyramid schemes. That's really the whole thing. And there's this guy named Obi Garbo II that's got this industry called FAM America, Founders America International I don't know, something. It's called FAM. They sell FAM products. It's a pyramid scheme. And this dude is a quack. And he's got all these people. You could tell these people have all drunk the Kool-Aid. They've all drank it. You know what I mean? And listen, it's so funny. The only person who's got even like what seems like a lick of sense is this Kirsten Dunst's character. She plays Crystal Stubbs, and her husband, it should tell you how darkly comical the series is. Her husband got eaten by an alligator in like the first 2 episodes, and it's so funny because there was no Kool-Aid left. This guy drank all of it, and she couldn't stand him, and now he's gone. And it's just so funny. It's like this just bitter, like sorrowful thing. Because she's like, he died before I could even divorce him. You know what I mean? That whole thing. It was so funny. That's the concept. But it's just, it's just really funny. Dark comedy, but just, it's so good. I'm loving it. I'm like on episode 4 or 5. I think it's got 10 or 12 episodes, but I'm really looking forward to getting back to it. So another recommendation, folks. Listen,
how do you identify a pyramid scheme?
I think it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy to pick off. Like multi-level marketing is their quick little, that's their terminology they like to use to kind of steer you away from looking at it as a pyramid scheme. But if it's multi-level marketing, it's a pyramid scheme.
Oh.
I mean, I'm not saying that they all are a scam. I mean, some people have clearly made them work for themselves, but it's just one of those things. It's the umbrella thing where you got one big fat cat sitting on top, and under his umbrella is this chain. It's like tiers, like blocks on a pyramid. It goes down. You got your upline, then you got your downline. You got these people that sell to these people, that distribute to these people, that, you know what I'm saying? And they recruit. And it all just like propels this just huge influx of, revenue up to the top. And it's supposed to benefit everybody, but history tells us that it's not always the case.
What's that beauty product thing that
Avon?
Yeah.
Yep,
that's
Avon.
A pyramid scheme.
Yeah, big time. Yeah. I mean, there's many of them out there, but I mean, if you ever wanted to see something that makes fun of that, it's a show about that, basically.
All right.
Definitely
check it out.
I can just tell, man, as much as I'm getting tired and as much time has already gone by and as much as we've talked already, we'll have to have another series talk.
Yeah.
We promise that we will. We're probably going to close here in a little bit, but we promise we will do a part 3 of television series, just like we've got another part 3 coming of superheroes. We never finished that.
Yeah.
And I've got a story that I'm talking about. It's every fiber of my being is crying out to tell it. It's so fun. And plus, I mean, when I do it, yeah, I'm selfishly telling it because I get that. I mean, I get those nostalgic feelings when I tell the story. I'm taken back there. You know, those fond memories that you treasure.
Yeah.
That give you, you know, that emotional memory. It's like they take you to a place, you know.
You're going to give us more Superman facts.
Oh my God, he's making fun of me. I gave Mike more than he ever thought he would ever want to know about Superman. That episode, but it was a fun episode. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
At least
Superman,
I argued.
my number 3. He's
All
my
right.
number 3.
Heck yeah, man. I think I've made some conversion success in bringing you closer to Superman fandom. I don't know why that needed a country accent. I don't know why.
I think you were trying to do like a pastor thing.
That's what it was. That was what pastor. That's why I was trying to figure it out. Come on around, everybody. Come on.
You got to hit us with that Joel Osteen.
Oh my God. I better stop because somebody I'm gonna cancel us for that. No, maybe those are the people that need it. So we will do another part. We're gonna do a part 3 of the superheroes. We're gonna do a part 3 of series. But I want to give a couple more recommendations. I wanted to talk about. These are things I got on my list. I would be remiss if I didn't share these. But this has been another good episode too, man. You see how quick the time goes by?
Yeah.
I gotta say, before I forget, we are announcing now. We're letting you know that we are for sure, and it's on the subject of television series. I'm so glad I didn't forget, Mike. Glad I didn't forget. And before I forget again, don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification. Comment if you'd like to. We would love the chance to respond. We love engagement. It's been great. We've had a lot more engagement lately, which has been nice. So we really appreciate all the love from everybody. And don't forget to do that. And don't forget we're on Spotify, Facebook, TikTok, all the places, all the things. And guess what? I get to tell you this now. I was going to say live. We're not live yet. That's another thing. We will be streaming live as well. Mike and I've got to get together and brainstorm how we want to roll that out and introduce that to you guys. What day would be best? What time would be best? I'm thinking probably on a Saturday night would be best for most people.
Yeah.
We will. So in the near future, within the next month or so, we will be launching our first live streaming event. It will take place on a Saturday night. We'll let you know what Saturday night. You know what? That might be a good episode to do the Christmas theme, holiday movies.
Yeah.
You think that might be a good live one?
Yeah.
It'd be in December? Yeah, we might do that. Mike and I will talk about it. We'll firm up the details and we'll get back with you on that. But live streaming, that's coming as well. But one thought leads to another. One thing leads to another. 80s. Why is 80s? The fix. Come on, yeah. So what was I saying before that? Yes. Okay. Television series. This is a television series episode. If you didn't know, Cobra Kai, the super duper duper anticipated part 2 of season 6 episodes, they have finally dropped. They dropped last night. They dropped November the 15th, Friday. I'm not sure when you're watching this, but we're recording it. It's still last night. So if you have not seen Cobra Kai, we are not going to talk about it too much right now, and here's why. We are bringing to you. What are we bringing, Mike?
A Cobra Kai episode, or should I say a Karate Kid episode?
Yes, we are going to make this a Karate Kid Cobra Kai theme. Everything in the Karate Kid universe, right?
Yeah.
Everything in the Karate Kid Cobra Kai universe. We are going to do that. That is the theme of the episode. But we're also going to leave room to discuss just martial arts films.
Yeah.
Fighting movies, those specific action films. And that's why it's got to be a Karate Kid universe theme, because those are the movies that really brought so much. Yes, kung fu flicks, martial arts films existed. It predated Karate Kid. But as far as you and I both know, it got its boom. Karate Kid ushered in a new era of martial arts karate and kung fu filmmaking, correct?
Yeah, it made it mainstream.
Very mainstream. It did, and that's and so that's why it seems fitting that we would pay tribute by letting that be the theme of the episode. So we're going to do that. We're going to talk about Karate Kid films. We're actually rewatching them. If you want, listen, do it with us. We recommend you doing that. I recommend rewatching, especially if you want to be ready for this episode, because we're going to dive deep into it. We're going to really dissect the Cobra Kai series. We're going to discuss the most recent episodes. We will give you warning for it, but we are definitely going to be spoiling a lot that episode, so you might want to brush up. If you have not watched, and I think Mike backs me up on this, he might have some thoughts on it as well, but if you have not given Cobra Kai the time of day, if you were like me and you thought that you wouldn't like it, you thought it was lame or cringy or just over the top Gen xylophone. I'm gonna say the xylophone for an X. That's not a Z. That'd be Gen X. Gen Z. Look, I thought all these things. I didn't even realize that all it is a more enriched and lengthening story of or of the lore of the Karate Kid world, right?
Yeah.
It just gives more, it gives more origin. It gives more following, more future, legacy and future. It basically just enriches the Karate Kid universe. It's a continuation, but it also brings it's such a hat tip and homage to the original films. That's why that when we were trying to explain it to Monty, I'm calling you out. We were trying to explain to this guy who's like, he comes to us. He's the one, right?
Yeah, he wanted the Karate Kid.
He's the one. He's like, you guys should do I'm going to try and do a Monty right now. This is what I'm going to do Monty. My Monty quick. Hey, keep in mind, you guys might should maybe do ever thought about doing a Karate Kid episode? That was probably a horrible Monty. We love you if you happen to be watching this, Monty. But yeah, he's the one that's like, you ever thought about doing a karate? You guys should do a Karate Kid episode. Yeah, it came to you about that, didn't he?
Yeah, but he a little too green to watch the Cobra Kai because, Johnny, he just all the cursing.
He's got to get past that though. He is so green. If you're a Karate Kid fan, there is no earthly explanation for why you are not watching Cobra Kai. It's a perfect fit. And the things about it that are cringeworthy, they're good. They're the right kind of cringe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, man, it's supposed to be that way. The cheese, you could tell the cheese that they put on it, and it's not exactly like sharp cheddar.
I mean, it's like, but it's on the 80s. Well, it's not take place in the 80s,
exactly.
But 80s had a lot of cheesy stuff.
They preserved that tonally very well.
Yeah.
And I love it. That's why it's so great. I mean, it's just, so that's why we're going to dive into it. I said we weren't even going to talk about it, and we just talked about the series for a minute, but this is an episode about series. So listen, Cobra Kai, Karate Kid theme, that's what we're going to call the episode. It'll probably be titled some other crazy thing before we're done with it, but it's going to be basically martial arts films on screen. But we're going to spend most of our time talking about those films and the Cobra Kai world, and that is coming. That's going to be the next episode that we do, correct, Mike?
Yeah.
We're going to be doing that before we do television series part 3 and superhero films and series part 3. That's the next one. Kung Fu Cine-Files.
So do you want to slide the Gladiator review into one of those episodes?
You know what? We'll figure that out. Why don't we do, you know what we could do? Because we're probably going to try and do, will we be ready to do the Karate Kid theme? Do you want to do it next weekend or do you want to do it Tuesday after work?
Yeah, we could do it Tuesday and then we can do something on the weekend too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we'll do.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll be bringing, lucky for you, we will be bringing you the Cobra Kai Karate Kid themed episode midweek this coming week. And we will be doing Gladiator the following. And I can't wait to because it's a legacy sequel,
Yeah.
And we're going to going to talk about one of the most iconic, films of the new millennium is when it happened, the turn of the century. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We'll try not to compare it to the first one.
Oh, it's going to be hard. I hope that I've got high hopes for it. I got a lot of faith in it. I did not realize that the main character, the protagonist, is Lucius himself. Did you know that?
No.
I didn't either. And Lucius was the guy that idolized Maximus, right? The kid.
Yeah.
Wasn't it the Connie Nielsen's son?
Yeah.
That was his name, wasn't it? Lucius?
I don't know what his name is, but I know he was like, what was he like? The prince?
Yeah, he was. His uncle was Commodus, played by Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I did not know that it was him as an adult. Listen, I thought it was just some new, like, other nondescript, unrelated person. But I found out that he's the main character. I'm more bought in than I was. So yes, it's going to be hard to come in with tempered expectations, as you know.
Yeah, I just want to see how it's going to play out because that's...
I don't want to come in doom and gloom. I just want to come in as without too high expectations, just middle of the road.
Yeah.
So those are our next episodes coming up, guys. We got Gladiator 2 coming up next weekend, and midweek we got our Karate Kid Cobra Kai episode. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're excited about that. But in closing here, because that took 10 minutes alone, man, that's just... Time is so fast, and as we're getting older, as we're aging, we want to remind everybody of the value of time. We don't all have the same amount of minutes and seconds that we once did. The time I'm wasting right now, it's going by really fast telling you about time. This is a pause for an infomercial about time. No, I'm waxing nostalgic, and I'm super emotional right now. I mean, I just talked about crying over these 2 recent films, and I'm thinking about, like, when you're a kid, man, you think about it, time takes forever to go by.
Especially when you was in school.
Oh my God. It's like, could this semester ever be over? Like when December starts, it feels like it takes a year to get to December 25th. And now it's like you blink and it's here.
Yeah, because you're not getting it.
Exactly.
Or you just don't care about it.
Or you just, yeah. Well, I will say this, man, and you're going to find this out. My Christmas spirit, it rages strong still. It rages strong. Listen, I'm going to tell you, you're going to find out some really scary things. Mike, when we do our holiday episode, yeah, it's going to be, let's just say, you'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Oh, man. You seen part 2 of that?
Yes.
Was it any good? Would you recommend it?
It's worth a watch.
All right.
But don't go in expecting a Christmas Story part 2, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
It's not that. But it's worth watching.
All right.
It is. It's worth watching. I think if you are truly a fan of A Christmas Story, you have to watch it and give it a chance.
Yeah, I remember when I was in school, every Christmas they used to play that movie.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Seen it like 1,000 times.
Dude, and you know what's so great about it? It holds up, buddy.
Yeah.
You will never get bored with it.
Yeah, never gets old.
I mean, I have that whole damn movie memorized. I have the script memorized. Like, it's bad. Just like I do that. I'm serious. It's bad. Gosh. Eat the food. Tina, fat lard. No, seriously. Like, there's just certain films that they're timeless. They live on forever. They're cult classics for a reason.
The Sandlot.
The Sandlot as well. I mean, I may have that memorized as well.
The second one was trash.
You play ball like a girl. That was so funny. All the kids are like, it said something on it. It said that Baby Ruth. That it's so good, man. The Sandlot. Yeah, there are certain sequels that you just don't count. The Sandlot 2 is one of them. You don't count. You'd rather just forget that it ever happened.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, man, in closing, this has been a fun episode. I just want to give some recommendations. I wanted to talk more about these, but we'll talk about them in our part 3. If you have not seen the DC series, the DCEU series, Penguin with Colin Farrell and Christina Milioti, I think I said that right. Love her. She's fantastic. And Clancy Brown, he plays in it too. He plays Moroni, Salvatore Moroni. And of course he plays, Colin Farrell plays Oswald Cobb, as they refer to him in this. Listen, I mean, what a transformation. I'm not going to talk about the series. I'm going to save it for part 3, but the finale just dropped. They just streamed the season finale. And look, there's been mixed feelings about the way that the show started as opposed to the way that it ended. But even though many would say it didn't end as strongly as it began, you cannot deny it. It is a force to be reckoned with. The Penguin series is phenomenal. And not only that, but it's set up perfectly for the Batman to, I mean, for him to be a very prevailing character in the series, in the Batman world, you know what I mean? In that universe, in that corner of the DCEU.
Did they mention what villain they was going with in the second one, Batman?
They did, and I forgot. But I'll get back to you and you folks on that information. But anyway, I just want to comment on, if you've not seen the Penguin series, a big recommendation. I got lots of thoughts on it. I can't get into it right now. Also, if you didn't know, and we are going to dedicate a significant portion of our series talk part 3 to discussing the Taylor Sheridan universe. The very much anticipated Yellowstone season 5 part 2 has finally premiered. It premiered last Sunday night. Episode 2 hits tomorrow night. And I'm going to share my thoughts on that. But if you're a Yellowstone fan, you're probably watching it. You're probably interested. It is now Yellowstone devoid of Kevin Costner. He's absent. I'm going to save the rest of my thoughts for later because it's a whole lot of controversy around that one. But I did want to make everybody aware that Yellowstone season 5 part 2, and it's supposed to be the final 6 episodes of the series, though there is talk about there maybe being a 7, it being renewed, or there being a spinoff of Beth and Rip's, relationship and their future. Beth is the main character, Beth Dutton. She's the only daughter of John Dutton, played by Kevin Costner, who is now no longer in the series. But Yellowstone, if you've not checked it out, it is such a superb show.
And it's a Western, right?
It's a Western, baby. And it's so good, man. It's so good. I mean, God, so good. But most of
some quick draws in there, or just set in the Western theme?
Ooh, it's got more than quick draws, man. Listen, Mike.
Okay. Oh, you sold me. They got that in.
I'm telling you right now, dude. It's got more than it's got better stuff than quick draws, is what I'm saying.
All right.
It's so good, dude. It is so good. I mean, promise you, you will start it and you won't stop. You won't stop. Do this. Do yourself a favor, though. Because this is what I did with Yellowstone. Okay? I'd heard the buzz about it. I mean, you couldn't even hide under a rock big enough to not hear about it. It was everywhere I went, everywhere I turned. Hey, you seen Yellowstone? That's what I felt like. I'm like, dude, come on. It can't be that good. And I was so hung up on, you know how I am. I got to be in the right mood. If I'm in the mood for a Western, I love Westerns. I've told you. We just saw a great Western earlier this year, The Dead Don't Hurt. If you haven't seen it, check it out. The Dead Don't Hurt. Anyway, but it's, I was thinking I wouldn't be into it. And I had that, you know how we can have those presuppositions about things and those mental blocks.
Yeah.
We prejudge too much. And I did that. And I said, I'm not going to be into it. I finally was like, it was during one of those points in time where you're looking for your next binge-worthy show to fill the void after the one you just completed that was like amazing and incomparable, And I was going through that, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to finally give Yellowstone a chance. And I watched it. And I got to episode 3. I started episode 3. And I was like, I don't know if I'm into it. I didn't know how I felt about it. Because it was doing the thing. And I'm telling you this for a reason. It was doing the thing that many shows, they do and they have to do. Where they're building the foundation. They're laying the groundwork. They're introducing all the different dynamics of the story, the relationships, okay? And as you know, as we both know, many series, even some of the best, it can get kind of, belaboring. It can be a little boring at times when that's happening. You're like, let's get to the good stuff.
Yeah.
So I quit it. I did. I quit it. I stopped it. And I said, and then I heard for another 6 months about Yellowstone this, Yellowstone that. And I was like, damn it, man. I'm never going to be able to stop it unless I just really, really give this a shot. So I picked up right where I left off in episode 3. Actually, I started episode 3 over. I'll never forget it. I watched the rest of episode 3, and I was like, okay, this has my attention. And then by the time I finished episode 4, it's over with.
You was hooked.
It's over with, Mike. So what I'm telling you is, if you can get through the first 3 episodes, okay, it makes it all worth it. Listen to me when I tell you, it does not take the foot off the proverbial gas. The whole rest of the series. It is fantastic, dude. You will like it. And it's really cool too because there is a cool as hell black cowboy in it too. I figured you really like him. So it's hard. I know it's hard to see certain things. I know that we can all appreciate anything objectively, but everyone needs to be represented for you to really feel like you got a dog in that fight. Am I right?
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to bring that to your attention. And so I thought you would like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
So just like, it's a really good, it's just a really great series, man.
And you said it's the same guy that made Bass Reeves, right?
Yep. Bass Reeves, Lioness Special Ops, which that's a reminder. That was my next thing. We're gonna give significant amount of time to the Taylor Sheridan world. Okay. That's the rest of my list, really. Lioness Special Ops, season 2. Oh my God, episode 3. No, episode 4. It drops tonight. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Oh my goodness. Listen, so yeah, you got Tulsa King, season 2. It just ended. I believe the finale just happened.
So how good is Tulsa King?
Wait,
anyways?
did the finale of Tulsa King? No, I think the finale of Tulsa King happens tonight. I think. I don't remember, dude.
They drop everything on Saturday?
No, they drop it on Sunday, but if you have Paramount Plus, it drops at 3 a.m. Saturday night, Sunday morning.
All right.
So, yeah, so you know I am. I'm the nerd that's up at 3 a.m. watching that shit. You know how I am. So, but yeah, so anyway, man, this I knew we weren't we were just going to be scratching the surface, and it's already, look at the time, man. I love it. So yes, so Yellowstone, we're going to give a significant amount of time to talk about that. And so Lioness, Tulsa King, Mayor of Kingstown. To be honest with you, Mayor of Kingstown and Yellowstone. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to put it like this, dude. No, I think Yellowstone's the best of all of them. I'll say this. Mayor of Kingstown and Lioness Special Ops with Zoe Saldana. Those 2 are competing for spot 2. I mean, and they're not far behind spot 1, if that tells you anything. I'm telling you right now, these are these are series that make shows worth binging.
Well, another show worth binging is Halo.
Come on, see, Mike got us a recommendation. Tell the people about Halo real quick, or why you recommend it.
Well, don't go into expectation. If you played the game, don't compare it to the game. It's a different take, and all I'm gonna say is a really well put together show.
It is. I 100% agree, dude. I loved it. Great sci-fi series, right?
Yeah, my brother was telling me that's his favorite show right now.
Yeah. I mean, dude, so binge-worthy, too.
Yeah.
And those of you that are out there, you're lucky you don't have to go through what we did, having to wait one episode after another. Didn't you have to do that on season 2?
Yeah.
You got to watch all of season 1 straight through.
But I got to wait to 2026.
Dang, we got to wait till then for it. But you know what? They put so much into it, man. It's such a big production and the visual effects.
Yeah, I wish we can get one next year.
Oh, it would be so great, man. I tell you what, 25 is going to be a strong year, though, for shows and for movies.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so that's great. Another good recommendation, Halo. So we're going to talk about all that stuff, get into more details about it. And I had one final thing. The final season. Oh, my God. I totally forgot. Oh, my God. Mike. Oh my gosh, I know what we're closing this episode with, okay? We're going to close it with an instant reaction video. I'm going to show a video to you, and we're going to give the people an instant reaction.
All right.
Okay, because it's going to connect to what I'm telling you. Recommendation, the final season. We're in season 6 of What We Do in the Shadows. It is a horror dark comedy based off of the original idea of the film from 2014, starring Taika Waititi and Jemaine Clement. They are both New Zealanders. They are Kiwis. And you know who Taika Waititi is. I know you heard that name.
Yeah, I heard that name.
Thor
before.
Ragnarok. He has got a specific brand of humor, but he's actually a really talented filmmaker.
Yeah, he's funny, but yeah, that movie didn't need that much comedy in it.
You didn't see Thor Ragnarok, though, did you?
Not Ragnarok, but he also...
forget Dark War. Forget the next one.
But he took
Love and
lead.
Thunder?
Yeah, he took lead.
Yeah, forget Love and Thunder. I don't even count that. Ragnarok...
It was hilarious. Man.
Ragnarok you would love. Because it still gives you that good, intense Thor, like just, oh my God, heroic, but with just the right amount of levity.
Yeah.
You know, and it introduces the rock guy, you know, that he also is his voice. Is he not funny to you? That's how funny that guy is. So anyway, I'm going to end with this, okay? Taika Waititi and Jemaine Clement, Jemaine Clement, I can't remember. I keep saying it. It's not Clemente. It's Clement. Jemaine Clement. I think it's Clement.
We do got a T-E.
Is it Clement? It's Jemaine Clement. It's not. I don't know why I thought it was Clemente for a second. I've known these guys and their names forever, but the show, I recommend it to everybody. It is probably one of the funniest shows I've seen since The Office. And to me, there is no funnier show in all of existence that has ever been made than The Office. And I will stand by that. I will die on that hill. I don't think anybody will be able to push me off if we're playing with the rules of King of the Mountain. I don't think that...
Well, you're going to have that one person, but actually...
Yep. That's exactly how they sound, too. But listen, I got to tell you, okay? There is a movie called What We Do in the Shadows, and this is a basically an expansion of that idea of the vampires living in modern day. What if there were vampires living in modern day and they were just zany and like hilarious characters? I mean, and they're just kind of dense. They're very daffy and flaky.
Yeah.
And oh my God, they're just so funny. There's so many dynamics introduced. I highly recommend.
But that was the FX show, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's an FX show. You watch it on Hulu.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, have you ever seen a trailer for it or anything?
Yeah, I seen the trailer for it.
Oh, listen, dude, it is so funny. So funny. But I bring that up. I'm going to dedicate a significant portion of time to discussing the What We Do in the Shadows and specifically Jemaine Clement and Taika Waititi. They're buddies, they're friends from all the way back in New Zealand. They've worked together on multiple projects, not the least of which being What We Do in the Shadows. I mean, they're so funny. Everything Jemaine Clement has been in, you've seen him in a lot. Did you ever see Don Verdine? I'm not gonna just sound off on all the Jemaine Clement movies and why he's so funny. I'm just gonna tell you about one television series that was only on for 2 seasons, but it's one of the funniest shows I've ever seen. Different. I don't really count it in the same argument as what are the best shows, like What We Do in the Shadows and The Office. Those are both funny. They exist on a different plane altogether. This is parody and satire at its best. And I didn't discover this series, Flight of the Conchords, which you can binge watch both seasons on Max anytime you want. It is the funniest. It's so funny, dude. I'm going to close this episode with a video to get your instant reaction.
All right.
Of one of the songs that they do. They basically play these 2 New Zealanders who come over to their music. They have their own little band and they're trying to make it big. And they have this idiotic like agent played by Rhys Davies, who's hilarious. He's in Our Flag Means Death, another series that he and Taika Waititi are behind. It's on Max as well. And he plays their idiot agent and they're trying to make it big and they do music. And this is one of the videos. You'll recognize one of the comics in it as well because Aziz Ansari is in this episode. Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
Too many motherfuckers fucking in my shade. There's too many motherfuckers fucking in my shade.